The landlocked US state of Tennessee, bordered by forests, mountains and rivers, is said to be home to haunted roads and eerie locations steeped in human angst. Here are some of those mysterious phenomena. ORPHEUM Theatre. Opened in 1928, the ORPHEUM Theatre in Memphis is said to house 7 ghosts, of whom a 12-year-old girl called Mary seems to be the most active. Her playful pranks are so common that theatre employers now calmly accept her presence. The theatre was established on the site of the former Grand Opera House, which was destroyed in a massive fire in 1923. The story goes that young Mary was involved in a fatal accident at the front of the old opera house, and her spirit lingered there, haunting the new theatre when it was built. The Orpheum is the Mid-South home to travelling Broadway productions, and some actors have spotted Mary sitting in her favourite balcony seat, C5, while enjoying their performances. Witnesses have included several cast members of Fiddler on the Roof, and Yul Brynner, who observed her when he was rehearsing for The King and I in 1982. Mary is always described as having long brown hair in a plait and wearing a white dress, and was once seen by a group of patrons dancing in the lobby before vanishing before their eyes. She makes her presence felt with an oppressive chill, or playing mischievous tricks on theatre workers, such as placing their tools in the toilet. Another resident ghost is said to have fixed a malfunctioning organ for a frustrated repairman, while some less friendly ghosts have torn open doors and scared police dogs who refused to enter when the alarm went off one night. PIGMAN Bridge. Meerman Shelby Forest is home to many fascinating plants and animals, including endangered species. However, a different kind of creature is reputed to roam the park. According to local legend, a man received shocking facial injuries from an accident at the Millington Ordnance Works plant, an underground powder and explosive factory during World War II. The horribly disfigured man was shunned by his co-workers and local residents and became known simply as Pigman. As a result, this well-known Tennessee tale says that the angry spirit of a man with the face of a pig haunts the Shelby forests. According to the legend, on some nights, a shadowy figure can be seen stalking the grounds amidst the screams of people he's slayed, as he searches for his next victim. He is usually seen at night near the PIGMAN Bridge in the nearby town of Millington, and has also been sighted at the state park. Paranormal spotters are advised to wait for the full moon and park in the middle of the bridge at midnight, then to turn their lights and engine off and roll down their windows. They are then told to flash their lights 3 times while calling Pigman's name at each flash and wait for him to come. Bell Witch Cave. Local history tells of a land dispute in Adams, Tennessee, after which Kate Batts vowed to haunt John Bell and his descendants, and she kept her promise. Betsy Bell, John's daughter, was particularly harassed by the Bell Witch during her childhood, but the witch was experienced by many others as well. Even President Andrew Jackson was heard to say he would rather face the entire British Army than to endure another night with the Bell Witch. The story goes that John Bell passed of a mystery illness, while the witch tormented Betsy into refusing marriage with a long-time love neighbour Joshua Gardner. The witch is then said to have retired to the Bell Witch Cave, now a tourist spot where a chilling presence is occasionally reported. Rick White, writer and director of the movie The Bell Witch Haunting, was undertaking research for the script when he experienced an unwelcome encounter. He was walking near the entrance of the cave on the Bell property while conferring with a fellow writer. They were the only people around and walking side by side during a silent pause in the conversation. White later reported that everything was quiet when suddenly both of them heard a woman angrily whispering over their shoulders and directly into their ears, "What are you doing here?" They both quickly turned, but there was no one there. SENSABAUGH Tunnel. SENSABAUGH Tunnel and SENSABAUGH Hollow Road are enclosed by primitive forests and valleys. SENSABAUGH Tunnel was first constructed in the 1920s and named for the landowner of its location, Ed Sensabaugh. Since the early days, passers-by have reported hearing screams baby cries and other phantom sounds emanating from the tunnel's interior. Disturbing local folklore tells how a homeless man broke into the SENSABAUGH family home and kidnapped their baby. Ed SENSABAUGH pursued the man into the tunnel, but by then the baby had perished in the stream inside the tunnel. This incident apparently tipped Ed over the edge mentally, and he is said to have then slain his wife and older child. He is said to have then hid their lifeless remains in the tunnel, which has become a location of dark energy. A subsequent tale tells of a woman who was driving through the tunnel when a car stalled and she left in search of help, but was never seen again. Another local legend is of a young pregnant woman who was pursued into the tunnel and gave birth to a child there, before expiring soon after. Tennessee folklore says that sightseers are not even safe inside their cars, and warns of a spectral woman who will materialise in your back seat if you attempt to drive through. Some claim that if you drive into the tunnel and then turn off the ignition, when in the middle, you won't be able to restart the car until you have manually pushed it out of the tunnel first. Tennessee State Prison. Close to downtown Nashville is the abandoned Tennessee State Prison, which stopped operating in 1992. Built in 1889, the prison contained 800 cells and was to house the assassin of Martin Luther King Jr. Johnny Cash played for inmates there in 1968, and it has provided the setting for several films such as The Green Mile. There is rumoured to be a multitude of spirits roaming the halls of the old prison, which is not surprising considering the extreme human angst once contained therein. It was widely known for its prison breaks, riots, fires and inhumane overcrowding, as well as being the home of the electric chair. The grimly dubbed Old Sparky dispatched over 100 prisoners there, who seem active in projecting their turmoil throughout the site. Visitors to the now empty prison report phantom footsteps behind them, the clanging of prison bars when there is no one there, and screaming which seems associated with the execution area. Cold spots and apparitions have also been experienced. Perhaps, fortunately, the dilapidated building is not currently open to the public. Drummond's Bridge. In Bryceville, there is an eerie bridge with a dark history. Local legend has it that the spirit of a man called Dick Drummond still roams the area seeking revenge against soldiers who dragged him to the railroad trestle and suspended him there. Some have seen a shadowy form hanging from the bridge trestlework or walking along the tracks. Drummond was a 25-year-old miner who met his end in this retaliatory act during the Coal Creek War in 1891. The Coal Creek War was an armed labour uprising that began after the Coal Creek Mining and Manufacturing Co. commenced using prisoners from the Tennessee State Prison System to labour in the mines, saving the company money but leaving many Bryceville men out of work. On October the 31st, 1891, the coal miners rebelled, with the battle resulting in many fatalities and ultimately the abolition of the convict labour system. Dick Drummond was one of the many workers who were targeted by the governor's militiamen, ambushed in his boarding house and taken to the bridge. Local legend has it that on certain nights the chilling sounds of a struggle and Drummond's echoing last breaths can be heard. It is said that at the witching hour of midnight, Drummond paces the length of the bridge and then disappears into thin air to the sound of heavy ropes slicing through the darkness. As well as his apparition, there are also reports of eerie moaning and unexplained gunfire in the area. A local historian who lives nearby has also noticed strange animal behaviour around the bridge. Dogs will go no closer than 30 yards from the bridge, and cattle who graze beneath it leave a wide strip of grass below the trestle. CARNTON Plantation. The CARNTON mansion in Franklin was close to the battlefront during the Civil War and served as a field hospital. One of the worst skirmishes of that conflict, the Battle of Franklin, resulted in 5 Confederate generals being laid out on the back porch there, where red stains are still evident today. The lady of the house, Caroline Winder McGavock, comforted the soldiers before they passed and has since been sighted in various locations in and around the house. There have also been sightings of one of the generals riding his horse through the pastures surrounding the mansion. Several paranormal investigators have documented what they call spirits of the fallen, which are said to be particularly active in the autumn months at sundown. One of the generals, Pat Cleburne, was apparently unable to rest because he knew that his soldiers would not hold up well in the anticipated onslaught of the coming battle. His fretting spirit is seen with a moustache, short beard and penetrating eyes, pacing the back porch, roaming around the outside bounds of the mansion, and occasionally even talking to lone individuals.